So what you're seeing on my screen is a WordPress website that doesn't force you to choose between local development and cloud development. And honestly, that choice shouldn't even exist anymore. Locally is great when you want to write code, edit files, build a custom plugin, work on a theme, or debug something properly. But cloud is where your website actually becomes useful with a real URL, SSL, sharing, testing, and collaboration. InstaCLI brings both sides together. I can create a WordPress website directly from my terminal, pull it locally, work on the WP content files, push changes back to the cloud, and keep the workflow moving without installing Docker, MySQL, or Apache on my system. So instead of treating local and cloud as two different worlds, InstaCLI gives developers a single workflow across both. Let me show you how it works. Basically, InstaCLI gives you a terminal-first way to create, pull, work on, and push WordPress projects between your local machine and InstaWP cloud sites. Same WordPress site, local when you need control, cloud when you need hosting, sharing, and testing. That's the workflow I want to show you today. First, let's install InstaWP-CLI with this command. It's in beta, that's why the @beta tag. Hit enter. And it's done. Now to check whether it's working or not, I am using this command instawp help. That shows you the full command list. We'll cover maybe a third of these commands. There's plenty to explore on your own afterwards. Now we authenticate with instawp login command. This opens a browser tab. You click authorize and you're done. If you don't have an InstaWP account yet, it'll prompt you to sign up free, no credit card needed. And then enter this command to confirm whether the login is successful or not. We don't have to do this again on this machine. Okay, the first thing I want to show you is how to create a WordPress website directly from the terminal using InstaCLI. And this is where the workflow feels different. I don't have a Docker running. I don't have my SQL installed on my machine. No Apache, no Nginx, no local server setup. I just have to tell InstaCLI what kind of WordPress website I need. So my command would be instawp create demo site PHP 8.4. Here I am choosing the demo site as the name and PHP 8.4 as the PHP version. A brand new WordPress site running on PHP 8.4 version opened automatically, and I am already logged in as admin. No login screen, no password to remember. Let me just confirm whether this is a real WordPress site. So let's go to the dashboard, let's go to the plugin section, and let's install a plugin directly from here. The plugin seems to be installed and activated without any issue, so it is a real WordPress, real plugin directory, and everything works. The only thing that's different from a normal install is that this site is running on SQLite instead of MySQL. For 95% of the plugins, that doesn't matter at all. WooCommerce works, Gutenberg works, and most page builders work. Okay, here's the workflow that for me was the unlock. Imagine you've got a client site running on the cloud. Maybe it's a WooCommerce store, maybe it's a content site, doesn't matter. Now you need to build something for it. Maybe a custom plugin, a theme tweak, a new feature, or a landing page update. The old version of this is painful. You log into the hosting dashboard, find the SFTP credentials, open FileZilla, download the themes and plugins folder, set up locally, import the database, run, search, replace, hoping that nothing breaks in the process. By the time you have finished setup, you still haven't started building. But with InstaCLI, the workflow becomes much more simpler. You can pull the cloud site directly into your local machine, work directly on the WP content files, build the custom changes, and then push them back to the cloud directly from the terminal. But before doing this, first let me see my existing cloud sites using the command instawp sites list. I can see our newly created demo site running in the cloud. Now, before I pull anything locally, I want to quickly check what's already active on this site. Because if I'm building a custom plugin or making a theme change, I need to know what environment I'm working with. We can do this by using this command. Let me also quickly check the site URL before I pull it locally, because if there is a redirect issue, that's where it usually shows up. And we can check the URL using this command. Now say I want to look at the actual wp-config.php files and see what constants are defined. I can run shell commands on the cloud side directly from the terminal, almost like I'm working on a regular server. So let's check it once with this command. There's the config file. I can check site level settings without opening the hosting dashboard or WP admin. Let me also check what's inside the site root. Well, this command gives me the full site root structure. Now here's a small detail I really like. If I'm on a network where SSH is blocked, maybe a client office, a hotel Wi-Fi or a restricted network, I can add a small change to the command and run it through the InstaWP API instead of SSH. So let's try it out. So this new command gives the same kind of output, different transport, no SSH connection needed. Now I'll pull the site's WP content folder down to my machine using the sync command. And here we have it. Now the themes, plugins and uploads from the cloud site are available on my local machine. I can open the files in VS Code, search through the code base, make changes or build something new without manually downloading folders using SFTP. And because this is the full WP content folder, this is not just useful for reading theme files or checking plugin codes. I can also create a small plugin locally and push it back to the cloud site. For this demo, I'll create a tiny must-use plugin. A must-use plugin loads automatically in WordPress so that I don't have to manually activate it from the WP dashboard. First, I'll go into the WP content with cd WP content command. Then I'll create the plugins folder if it does not already exist. Now I'll create a small plugin file and paste the code snippet of a small plugin which I have coded with a simple functionality. So this code here is of a tiny custom plugin that adds a visible banner to the public site. So now the custom plugin exists locally, but it's not on the cloud site yet. I go back to the main folder where WP content exists, and now let's push these changes to the cloud side directly from the terminal. I'm using the command InstaWP sync push demo site, and one thing worth pointing out, our sync is only sending files that actually changed. Well, let's check whether the custom plugin which we just pushed is working fine. Let's go to the WP dashboard and to the plugins section. We can already see a plugin lying inside the must use section of the plugins folder. Let's go to the public site, and there it is. This colorful card was created locally on my machine, pushed with InstaCLI, and now it is visible on the cloud WordPress website. And if you want to run WP-CLI commands from your terminal without opening a full shell, there's a shorthand as well. You can use this command to run the WP plugin list on the remote side from your local machine. You can install plugins, manage users, update options, all of it from your terminal. So let's try installing WooCommerce plugin from the terminal. And to check whether it is actually installed on the cloud side, let's go to the dashboard plugin section, and here we have it. You can also delete any of your cloud site from your terminal. Simply name the site like I did and use this command, and it will be gone. No leftover folders on my laptop, no half-finished sites cluttering up my local app, no forgotten staging environments racking up the costs in the cloud. A few other things to know here is you can add JSON to any command for machine readable output, and there's an AI angle for this as well. Because every command outputs JSON if you ask it to, you can hand this off to Cloud Code or Cursor and they can drive it end to end, create a site, test a plugin, push a fix and tear down the site. If you're into AI coding agent stuff, that's worth poking at. InstaCLI is open source and it's in beta. If you try this and end up using it, do let me know in the comments below which part you found most useful, and if there's a specific WordPress workflow you want me to break down next, drop it below as well. So that's all for the video. See you in the next one.